Chapter 9. Arun's Trial. The flood had washed away many things: dead crops, crumbling walls, old fears. But it had also left something behind, a reckoning. For weeks after the storm, the village of Srejitpur hummed with the sound of rebuilding. Bamboo poles were raised, mud bricks were sun-dried, and songs once again filled the fields. The land had survived its worst test. But the people had not forgotten what came before the rain. And they had not forgotten Arun. Arun, once the wealthiest man in Srejitpur, had been silent since the flood. He no longer barked orders to laborers or paced his balcony. His fields, once symbols of power, lay unplanted. The golden seed he had planted had rotted away. And in its place, guilt had grown. He had watched the village starve, watched children go without rice, watched mothers beg for lentils, and done nothing. Worse, he had hoarded, raised prices, mocked those who suffered. It was not just nature that had failed them. It was him. The council of elders met beneath the banyan tree, where justice had always been delivered, not in courtrooms, but in the presence of the people. Milan Kazis stood before the villagers. Her eyes, lined with age and wisdom, moved over the gathered faces. "We must speak truth today," she said, "not for vengeance, but for healing." Kanis sat quietly at the edge of the crowd. Kiran held his hand, eyes fixed on Arun, who now stood in the center, surrounded by the same people he had once towered over. No guards, no walls, just Arun and the truth. The first to speak was Sunita the widow. "I came to your door, Arun," she said softly. "I begged you for flour, not for me, for the child I was feeding. You turned your back." Next came Hadia the potter. "When my kiln cracked and I had no clay, you laughed and said I should sell my cow. I had no cow, I only had my hands." Then Zenu the herbalist. "You sold my herbs to merchants from the city, while we had none for fevered children." Each voice a piece of the truth. Arun stood silent through it all, lips pressed tight, shoulders slumped. The man who once boomed like thunder now seemed hollow, like a drum with its skin torn off. Finally, the Sarpanch turned to Kanis. "You saved this village. You gave what little you had. What do you say should be done with him?" All eyes turned. Kanis rose slowly. "I say," he began, "that we forgive him." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Even Kiran looked at her father in disbelief. Kanis continued, voice firm, "Because if we do not, we plant a different kind of seed, one of bitterness. We survived the drought. We survived the flood. Let us not drown now in hatred." He stepped forward. "But forgiveness is not forgetfulness. Arun must give back what he kept. His grain stores, his land, his wealth. All of it should feed the village." The crowd murmured. The Sarpanch nodded. "And what do you say to this, Arun?" she asked. Arun looked up, eyes glistening. "I came here ready to be cast out," he said, his voice rough. "But if you let me stay, I will work, with my hands. I will till the soil I once bought with silver. I will carry water, not sell it. And the seed I once wasted, I know now why it did not grow." The vote was taken, not by paper, but by voice. One by one, the villagers spoke. Yes, yes, yes. The final voice was Kiran's, small but clear. Yes. And so Arun stayed. He gave up his house on the hill and moved into a hut near the edge of the village. He worked side by side with Kanis, carrying dung and hauling compost, tilling the earth without pride. He ate last at feasts, listened more than he spoke, and bowed his head when people passed. But slowly he changed. And one day a small boy brought Arun a single green sprout in a clay pot, a gift. Arun wept. The land had judged him. but the people had saved him. In Srijitpur, that meant everything. Looking for a fun and simple way to improve your English? In this video, we'll show you how English short stories can help you learn faster and more naturally. Short stories are perfect for beginners and intermediate learners. They're easy to follow, full of useful vocabulary, and great for practicing reading and listening skills. By reading and listening to stories, you'll learn new words in context, understand English grammar naturally, improve your pronunciation and comprehension, enjoy the learning process without feeling bored. Whether you want to speak English more fluently or just enjoy a good story while learning, this is the perfect place to start. Hit that like button, thumbs up, subscribe for more, and let's learn English together.